Hey everybody, welcome to class. My name is Frank Markow and I will be your professor for this class. So glad you're here. I've been teaching this class for quite a few years now for Azusa Pacific, and this is such an important topic. I really believe that you're going to get a lot from this class. It's no secret that almost every day we open up the newspaper and there's some sort of new ethical issue, whether it's a politician, a businessman, even an athlete. People we used to look up to and really look at for moral guidance now have become the fodder of tabloid speculation about their ethical dealings, and even more than individuals, entire organizations seem to have ethical problems based on some of their practices. And so this is the kind of class that's going to help you look at ethical concerns both from that individual micro level to the larger organizational and even interaction with society level. So this isn't just an academic class per se. This really is the type of class that will help you understand what is going on in our society today, and moreover, how you can be an effective manager and to manage your organizations more ethically. You can read a little bit more about me in my biography, which is posted in our course menu. Again, I've been teaching for Azusa Pacific for about the last 5 years. I've been teaching for about over 15 years now, a lot of that online, so I'm really comfortable and familiar with the online teaching area, and hopefully you'll like the way the course is designed and the pace and some of the videos and things that I do for the classes. I want to mention about this class, while sometimes we think about ethics, we think about some of these huge corporate scandals, the Enrons and those sorts of things. Really what most managers deal with on a day-to-day are much more smaller, isolated sorts of issues. So we will take a look at the larger systemic kinds of concerns, but we're also going to spend a lot of time looking at some of the smaller things that we can actually get our hands on, that we can actually have an impact on a day-to-day basis as managers. We'll look at things like common ethical issues. And if you really think about it, you think about the kinds of things that come up on a regular basis. There's sort of a set of kinds of things that we will look at that are good to know about and good to have some background and some insight into. So again, don't be too caught off guard by this idea of an ethics class. We will talk a little bit about ethics theory and some of the larger issues, but a lot of it's going to have to do with the practical, everyday ethics management kind of thing that we can actually have an impact on. Things like developing an ethics management plan, things like the ethics officer and the ethics office of an organization. What is one and how do we establish one? So that's kind of an overview of what the class is going to look like. Now let me quickly tell you about some of the assignments that are going to be required in this class for you to get a great grade, and I know that that's everybody's goal. And so let me tell you what the major assignments are for this class. Each week we're going to have a discussion board, and this is where I will post a question of interest related to the reading or the lecture, whatever the course material is, and you'll have the opportunity to get in there and to answer the question and to interact with one another and with me, of course. And so I'm really a fan of the discussion board, and I like to see students get in there early. My approach is try to get your reading done early in the week, like Monday or Tuesday. Try to get into the discussion board Tuesday. By Wednesday at the latest, okay? So you'll be considered late for class if you don't start making discussion posts by Wednesday, all right? And then do your interaction and your follow-up post and your replies back to people by Friday or Saturday of the class. Typically Saturday and Sunday, I like to have students reserved for working on papers and those sorts of things. Okay, so that's the general flow. You can read the details of the discussion and exactly what's required in the course syllabus. And there's a rubric in there too that will show you exactly how I'm going to evaluate those discussion posts as well. So please pay attention to that. That'll help you get good grades on that. Another thing that we do in this class, most weeks, are weekly quizzes. Now these aren't huge, major tests, exams, but they will ensure that you're doing your reading. It's primarily from the Trevino and Nelson textbook. These quizzes will be taken, okay? So they're about 10 questions. Give you 30 minutes, I believe, to take these. And so my suggestion would be to read those textbooks carefully, to make notes of important issues, make sure you understand what you're reading, Let me know if you have questions about that. And then you have till the end of the week to take those quizzes. All right? Another major assignment in this class is what I call the live ethics case study. And again, as I mentioned earlier, there's lots of breaking news all the time about ethical issues. And so what I want you to do is to find one that you think is interesting. Maybe it's pertaining to a relevant sector that you're interested in. Maybe it's finance or retail or biotech or whatever, technology, whatever field you're interested in, perhaps something you're working in currently or something you'd like to be working in the future, and to find a story related to that. And again, I have all the details of the assignment in there, but this is a great opportunity for you to really begin to use some of the tools and the concepts about ethics that we're going to learn in this class and apply it to a real life scenario. Now, another assignment we have in this class, and this is kind of a fun one, I think, is a film assignment, a film or television assignment. And films are a great way to take a look at, investigate ethical issues. And there's been lots of great films out there that deal with ethical issues. I want you to pick films that have to do with ethics in a business context. And I know there's lots of large cosmic ethical issues that we'll probably be wrestling with forever. But try to pick one that has to do, that is isolated in a particular context, a particular industry, organization itself, something like that. Another kind of emerging area that I'm going to let you guys do some work on this is there's a lot of good TV shows out now that have to do with ethical issues, with bosses, horrible bosses, not horrible bosses. That was a horrible movie. It was a so-so movie. But there's lots of TV shows out there, like on MSNBC and CNBC, I believe it is, that deal with issues within an organization. So you could use one of those as well. Those are perfectly good. And you'll see the details and what's required for those papers in the syllabus. And then, of course, the final assignment is the self-evaluation paper. And this is where you get a little introspective, where you get to kind of do an assessment of your own values, where they've come from, perhaps how this class has informed some of those, that giving you some new ideas and ways of thinking about ethics and ethics management. And I also want you to do a little bit of evaluation of an organization, and to use some of these tools for your own particular organization, and talk about how you can be more strategic, how you could develop an ethics management plan, how you can mitigate against some of the typical ethical issues that might be relevant to your particular industry. Every industry seems to have a set of types of ethical concerns that they have to deal with. And so I want you to think about that in terms of your own context. All right? So that's a great opportunity for you to kind of bring all of this home and make it personal. Now, to get started, what I want you to do is to make a post on the introduction board. There's a general form that'll be there in the forums every week, and I want you to make a post in there and just introduce yourself. Right? We want to get to know our classmates, and so please take some time and share a little bit, and then follow up with a couple people as well and welcome them to the class. My goal in distance education is, well, my motto is to let's remove the distance in distance education. And I think the more we can get to know each other as people, get to know about each other, even see each other. I do want you to post your picture and your profile. I think that's better for the class. This is distance learning. It's not anonymous learning. You can't lurk out there and hide out there. So please do some self-disclosure. Post a picture of yourself in your profile so we can see what you look like as well. All right? And once you're done with that introduction, jump on in. We got some discussion posts this week. Got a great assignment for week 1. We're going to look at it's a few years old now, but it's a very interesting and important ethical issue. And I have one driving question, just one question that I want you to ask about the video we're going to look at about Bernie Madoff in week 1. And so I think you'll be intrigued by that. So that's it for now. Bless you guys, and I'll see you online.